Hi, if you're watching this, that means you probably bought my candy cane elf pattern, and this is the instructions on how to add details to your green elf. We're going to start off by adding your safety eyes between rounds 3 and 4 of your elf's face, just making sure that those are horizontal from each other. It can be kind of tricky working in the round. Next, you're going to take your white embroidery thread and make some little highlights under both eyes. Then your black embroidery thread is used on the top of the eye to make like little eyelash. And don't cut that thread because you're going to go straight into making the smile by sticking your needle through the back where you want the left side of your smile to be, and then putting it down straight across from that. Hold your smile in place where you want it to be and stick your needle through the back to the front. And you're going to kind of pin it down by going straight through that same stitch. And that's how you make his smile. Now for sewing it together, you're going to use your green yarn tail and place the wrong sides facing together. And you're going to sew up the side until you get to round 4 and stop there, because that is where we're going to leave the gap for our candy cane. After you've finished sewing up to round 4, you're going to kind of open it up to get your yarn on the inside. Weave your needle through the inside stitches all the way till you get to the neck, so that your yarn is where you need it to be for sewing one stitch through that very top row of where the body starts. That way it's secure, but you still have a hole for your candy cane. Now push your yarn through out the other side, and you're going to repeat this exact same thing on the other side. So secure that first stitch, then weave your yarn through to leave a gap, and I will meet you when we get to the bottom. After you get to the very bottom, you want to weave that yarn tail in real good. Next, we're going to sew up the skin color using your skin tone yarn tail. There's 4 stitches that need to be sewn up, and then you're going to put it through the neck and do the other side. Once you do that other side, you're going to embroider the nose. So bring your needle out right here, and you're just going to pass your yarn over 2 to 3 times until you think it looks right. I usually do 2 times. And then use your needle to kind of just like fluff up that nose a little bit and make it more noticeable, and hide that yarn tail inside the hat. Now for the hair, we're going to sew up those first 4 stitches, and then I'll meet you right here to create that little hair peak. All you're going to do is pass your yarn 3 to 4 times until you get the desired look. This is just going to give him a little more character and to see a little more hair peeking through after you've sewn the hat on. Finish sewing up that other side of his head and go straight into the collar. You're going to place it on his neck, and you want to leave the bottom side of the front. Don't stitch that together. Just stitch it onto the back, because you want it to have that little gap where the collar touches but doesn't necessarily connect. Now for the hat, moving on to the hat, you're going to want to pinch it flat and then go through the first side of the hat and the head, and then out the other side of the hat. And you're going to do this all the way across till you get to the other side. Then just secure and tie off that yarn tail and hide it inside of the hat. Next up is adding his belt, which in my opinion is the hardest part of sewing this together, because you absolutely have to make certain that you don't go through the whole body. Otherwise your candy canes will not be able to slide through. And I do this just by holding my thumb inside of it when I'm sewing, so that I know for certain that my yarn is not going through both sides. And you just do this all the way around, and then secure your tails and hide them in the back and embroider his little buckle on. And this is when he starts getting so cute, is when you're adding those finishing touches. So just make sure you're again not sewing the 2 sides together. This is only on the front piece. And then you create 2 buttons above and 1 button below. And then you're going to hide those tails in, and it's time for the fun part, sliding your candy canes in. I hope you've enjoyed this pattern. Thank you so much.